Hi and welcome to this Ableton 9 tutorial from the Cre8 channel. This tutorial is going to cover creating reverse effect sounds within Ableton. You see here that we've started off with our forward sound, which I'll cover in a second. It's important that you then set up a reverb send. It's a particular kind of reverb that you want to set up for a reverse effect. You want a very long tail on there. In this instance, we've chosen a large space chorus. You need to set your dry wet settings to 100%, and you need to set your room size fairly decent with a long decay time. That just gives you a longer reverb tail which to reverse, and it just gives you a longer overall reverse sound. What you then want to do is set up another audio channel, and this channel has as its input the reverb itself, as you can see there. You would set this to in, and when you play the sound, what it will do is it will capture the reverb that is coming off your main sound. And this will allow us to then create a wave file that is just purely the reverb sound. In this instance, I'm using a grand piano sound with just a 9th chord put in there. It's very simple, just one chord. Similarly, a pad chord using very much the same notes, which just sort of augments the piano sound. In order to give it a bit more punch when the reverse flips over into the forward sound, it's useful to have a sort of percussive element and ideally a bit of a deep sound as well. So we've got a kick drum on there, and I also dug out an SFX sound on the 4th channel here, which you'll hear. Okay, at this point you want to set all the sends to the reverb to max, and that will give a large reverb effect to every sound, and then we can have a listen to what that then sounds like. You can hear there's a decent tail on that. So what we then want to do is actually record the reverb. When we played that, very straightforward, arm that channel to record, play the sound itself on record. And you can graphically see the reverb recording that we've just created. Stop it when it sounds like it's completely faded. Okay, and as you can see here, we've created that nice wave, which, as you can see, has got a really nice long tail on it. That's what the captured reverb sounds like. So now it's an audio file. We can go to the audio file and click the magic reverse button located there, and you have your reverse reverb. It's a good idea to pick the point at which you feel it reaches its peak, its crescendo, because that's always going to be a good point at which to flip to the original dry reverb sound. And as you can see there, I'm moving the original sound to the end of the reverb tail, butt them up against each other like that. Don't be surprised if it doesn't sound perfect the first time. This is your space to then experiment around what sounds good. Okay, so that sounds pretty good, but it feels like it needs a bit more of a crescendo to it, and it feels like maybe there's a better point in the captured reversed wave that it could transition over. So you can do that in many ways. What I tend to do is I'll loop around the point at which it changes from reverse to forwards, and then you can just loop round and round and round. Okay, so that sounds okay. I think what we'll do here is we will actually create more of a crescendo with the audio, and that's done by just essentially changing the track volume, and then use Ableton 9's bending function, pressing the Alt key along with the mouse, and that gives you a little bit of a bend to the automation. At this point I'm thinking, okay, but I'm not sure the wave actually transitions at the right point, so now I can sort of move it around a little bit. Let's extend it a bit more. Move it back over to the transition point there. Move our automation point to the point there. Turn it up a little bit. And it just sounds a bit more emphasized. There's more dynamics there. So let's have a listen to the complete piece. And that completes this tutorial from the Cre8 channel. If you have any questions or comments, don't forget to leave them below. If you've enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe.